That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 58 of Camp Strange. I am your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, David Stokes.
And we're back to bring the spooky, wild, wacky, strange, and unbelievable. Unbelievable. And we got some spooky stories for you. We got some strange stories for you. We always start with a little bit of news just to keep you guys updated on what's going on.
Yeah.
What
The fuck is that?
is that? Do you hear something? Sounds like someone's rifling through a vending machine.
Is that a Vuvuzela?
What is... Oh, my goodness.
It's this guy.
It's not a
It's him
Vuvuzela.
again.
It's me.
It's David the Coward.
Yeah, David the Coward. He's
Very-
back again.
He's very... he showed his face up here again, but it took us about 2 months to get him here, I
I'm
think.
pretty sure we were past this nickname, but
It's still
I'm
alive.
happy to be here nonetheless.
It's alive and well,
Yep.
and it echoes through the halls of this podcast.
I feel like just David is better. I feel like I'm like the only true David, you know?
Yeah.
Eh, kind of a coward still, though.
Still a coward.
All right, well.
But we like to say thank you for coming back on. We really appreciate it. And we know you're just as excited. We hope so.
He's really hard
Thank
to
you.
book, in case
Thank you.
anybody was curious.
a lot of
Just try to book me.
He's the hardest to book in LA right now.
Give it
He's
a
so
shot,
hot.
man.
He's so hot right now.
Yeah, I got a lot of things going on.
Just got engaged.
I baked a lasagna early. Oh, yeah, no, that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Shouts out to Allie, future Allie Coward. She'll have my last name of Coward. So really excited.
Allie
for that.
Coward, that rolls off the tongue.
It really does. Yep. We're gonna have a couple of kids.
couple cowardly
But
kids.
she's also not a coward.
No, she's pretty brave, but
pretty
unfortunately
sure
she's
she's-
marrying into this last name.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's her decision, not mine.
I'm pretty sure she's the one in the house that knows how to operate a power drill.
You guys had some news stories we were getting to, right?
We do. I scrapped my first news story because I just love the title so much. We're not going to read into it, but it says Grumpy Ghost Crabs. Grumpy Ghost Crabs.
Pinchy.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, I know, right? So it says Grumpy Ghost Crabs growl at enemies using teeth in their stomach. And I just couldn't pass that up. But it's
sounds awesome.
nothing very. It's just a lot of anatomy in there, and so I'm gonna skip that one and go straight to. Oh wait,
I got a quick question for you.
about these teeth, stomach teeth.
How would you feel about us getting a pet crab?
Is it gonna stay at your house?
No, it'd be a part of the podcast. It'd be right here.
Do you have to get a terrarium?
I had a pet crab in college. His name.
Of course you fucking.
His name was Kratos.
That's cool.
I had him in the dorms, and I bought a female crab in intention to breed crabs, so I could give the whole dorm floor crabs.
Were your crabs jealous of your other crabs that you had?
Well, so they were.
I meant the ones in your pants.
They were fiddler
him.
crabs. They were fiddler crabs, and Kratos was a male, obviously,
You
as
were
I
a
said,
fiddling crab.
because I said that I got a female, and so the fiddler crab, the male has one very large pincher.
The crusher.
Yes,
That's what it's called.
and the
big
females
boy.
have two of the smaller, regular ones, like the offset hand of the male. And the second I put the female in with Kratos, he just crushed her.
Jeez.
So I
killed
was,
her?
I was unable to give the dorm floor crabs.
Honestly, that's the most Kratos thing I've ever fucking heard.
It is. He was named after the
God
main
of
character
War.
of God of War,
Who
and
killed his wife?
He did.
You know what's funny is anybody else in my life who would have told me this story, I would have been really surprised and shocked. But I think you're the only person that I know, like
Kratos
we're
was
good friends, and not surprised at all.
Yeah,
this is just you.
Kratos unfortunately fell in a battle with one of our college football team's free safeties in a battle with a pencil.
No, what?
Oh.
Yeah, he killed him with a pencil.
No, what?
I was a little upset about that.
Oh, that's awful.
Okay, let's jump to the next story. We're not getting a crab.
Well, we're fine as
so-
long as he's not around.
So
I'm going to be sad for the rest of the episode. Why don't you go ahead,
So
Tobin?
British authorities scrambled to find stolen gold toilet. So a $1.25 million toilet was stolen from a British palace. And they've arrested a 66-year-old man, but they said that the guy broke in. They broke in at like 3 a.m. and they had two vans, and they stole this fucking toilet that's just made out of pure gold, which I don't really understand the physics behind, because gold is soft, correct?
Yes.
Does that mean that like you could
well,
like
You can sit on gold.
I would sit on them with my ass cheeks, and they would have permanent ass cheeks marks.
No,
in it.
No,
gold
no,
is
no,
not
no,
that
no.
soft.
It's not that soft.
Malleable.
It's salt-
which means that if it can be heated up, it can be like bent. But
That's-
it's very hard. It's like the same that you're sitting on porcelain.
Are you
or anything.
questioning how heavy and hot my ass is right now?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
How
Well,
dare you?
It's one of those things that people always be like, oh, like, he's got a solid gold Desert Eagle. Like, you could not make a firearm out of solid gold because it
Has to
would
be an
melt.
alloy.
It would melt
Yeah.
as soon as you shot around because of the heat from it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't melt from you sitting on it, but
But if you're doing a total paint job,
if you're doing a total paint job, maybe if you're there for a solid 3 hours, just loading that thing up.
I like to walk out of the bathroom and be like, you just lost $250,000 on that toilet. That toilet's fucked.
That shit's obliterated.
here's what I'm wondering: is if they stole it, it means it was just an ornament because there was no plumbing hooked up to it. Because
I'm
if
guessing
they had to
no,
get in
but
there and
it
just,
does look nice.
You would
sorry.
need some.
Oh.
It does look nice.
Looks like something Rick Ross would have.
Rick,
And you
Rick
know the boy
Ross
dumps.
could not have gold.
You know the boy dumps.
So that's my story. They haven't caught the toilet thieves yet, but we might want to check Rick Ross's house.
All right, fair enough.
It might just be a pile at this point.
All right. Well, I have a story here. Lithuanian couple defends world wife carrying championship title.
I feel like that's all they do in Lithuania.
Yeah, no, they just carry each other's wives. A Lithuanian couple won the world wife carrying championship for a second time in a row in the Finnish town of son of a bitch.
Oh, beautiful.
Nope, that's not the name.
Oh.
Sqautches. We're all accepting it and moving on.
Beautiful.
On Saturday, triumphing in a contest where men compete in obstacle courses with their wives slung over their shoulders.
Have you seen a video of it?
I have it right here.
Okay, so I actually did
you
watch
guys
some
want it.
video.
They have,
I
like,
had
a
seen
reel.
videos, and some of the wives, the smart wives, I would say, wear helmets because there's parts where like they're jumping over like hurdle kind of things that they have to climb over, and it's like if you lose your balance, your wife's head is crushed.
It's just a done deal.
So is this the same town where they roll the cheese down the hill? Because I
I
feel
thought
like
that was Ireland.
yeah, I'm just saying like those seem like very similar sports where people just have too much time on their hands or wives on their hands. God, that was good. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested.
Hi, I'm the comedy mayor. I want to welcome you to the town of comedy. You're now a resident.
Those are sports that I can get behind. You know, those ones, you know, cheese down the hill, carrying your wife.
Anything with cheese,
the
you
cheese,
can get behind.
The cheese takes place in England.
Okay.
Just to throw it out there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, thank you for that. Anyway, I guess the competition is also said to look back on an even earlier practice of wife stealing,
Okay.
which may have been a thing back in the day where apparently you could just go.
Was that held up in a court of law? Like I stole your wife, she's
think
mine now.
so, yeah, like, you know.
Okay.
My wife.
In my way,
Sorry, I'm always trying to get a Borat reference in
Borat's
here.
cool.
gotta get it in there. It's
but
still
anyway,
funny.
Some common day activists in the wife carrying tradition use other people's wives to carry on this tradition. So
Oh,
Gotta get yourself a light wife. You know?
I don't. Yeah, why not?
I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'8", you know? I gotta get myself a light wife.
carried wife,
You're
happy
being
life.
generous. You're being
That's-
generous on that one, buddy.
That's the expression.
I am 5'8", and
5'2". Anyway,
And
Stokes, what's your story?
So, Tobin almost spoiled this one earlier.
I?
Speedo wearing Dr. Phil guest, 37 years old, who legally changed his name to Sexy Vegan, had it tattooed on his face, is arrested for sexually assaulting his pet pit bull and posting videos of the act on social media.
Wait. This
this
was
is
funny, and now
Yeah.
this is the whole crab incident over again.
God damn it.
You know, I don't.
Both
I'm
of your
not.
stories start out
Okay.
like really fun and cool, and I was gonna be like, "Who's the sexier vegan, this guy or me?" And now, like, come on, man.
I didn't click into it. I don't know how far that really went. Sometimes headlines are misleading, so I'm gonna hope that it was not. He's vegan, so he couldn't
But-
have done that bad.
But to say, I watched a video yesterday,
is
unrelated to this. It was Sexy Vegan on Dr. Phil, and he did have the tattoos. But he walks out and he goes, I got a 4.95 on Hot or Not. What the fuck have you guys done? And then he proceeds to backwalk across the stage for about a minute.
Backwalk?
In
You mean-
silence.
you mean
What is
moonwalk? I'm sorry,
Oh,
moonwalking.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I was a child of the 90s. I missed all of that fun Michael Jackson. I only know bad Michael Jackson. I missed all the good Michael Jackson.
Will you give us a backwalk right now?
I'll give you a backwalk.
Can you backwalk for us?
Fuck you guys.
It's like backwash, but God
But,
damn it.
but but the joke's
Sorry, I'm
funny.
trying to focus.
It's
but
like
Stokes
backwash,
is,
but
Stokes
the joke's
is showing
funny.
me a picture of a sad cat superimposed on a banana.
It was not intentional.
Okay, let's move on. So I guess we should probably just get into these stories, correct?
Well, we have one thing to do, which I think our guest actually wanted to take the reins on.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, your host, your star of the evening, David Ledwith.
Jesus Christ, man. They don't pay you by the second.
Well, they kind of do. You know, there's a coffee that I know and love. I've ordered it off Amazon. I got it within 2 days. I put it into my French press coffee machine. And, you know, when you get Spring Hill Jack and you wake up in the morning and you smell it and you think to yourself, not only am I terrified, but I am now very awake because of this very speedy roasted legume. That's right, it's a bean. It's a legume. Are they legumes? They're legumes.
They're legumes.
Just keep going.
I'm going to keep going. Fuck it. I was going to keep doing on this whole ad. Spring Hill Jack is really good, man. I bought it only because of you guys. I found out about it and I ordered it off Amazon because I get everything off Amazon, and it was so good.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. Stokes is wearing an awesome T-shirt.
I'm actually
over
wearing
here
the shirt they sent us.
that I'm really jealous of.
It's one of my favorite shirts I own.
I will continue to drink this coffee, and unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago, I tried to order it off Amazon, and they were sold out.
That's
because
what happens.
it's
You
so
get good product.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You get good sponsors.
Actually, I just went on today. They actually have more on there. So.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get back on there. So keep
Move quick, because
pumping out them fast legumes.
And you have to say where to get it.
SpringHillJack.coffee.
That's right.
You sons of guns.
That's right.
Thought that you can only go to .coms or
.orgs. There's
.orgs or .govs or
EDU.
My illegal and gambling websites that are .ag. Shouts are
AG.
Argentina.
What is AG? Oh,
Argentina, yeah,
okay,
they support my
You-
crippling habit.
You do love gambling.
I fucking love it so much.
Anyways, .coffee, guys. And make sure you go check them out because they're good people and they got good coffee. So thank you, David, for that.
Yeah, no problem. I don't have a problem. You have a
He went
problem.
into his gambling addiction. So let's get into these stories because we got some for you. Now, Stokes,
Yeah.
I know I usually direct my opening question at you,
Yeah.
but this time, since we have Coward on the show,
Yeah.
I feel this question would better suit him. Now, Coward, was there ever a time in your life when you did something you weren't so proud of? Something bad that you needed to tell somebody to clear your conscience or wipe your mind clear of the guilt?
Yeah, I
You
came
know-
here tonight.
You know, like accidentally kissing your cousin behind the Big Five Sporting Goods, but old man McAllister saw you and he said it was perfectly normal because he's married to his cousin and his kids have almost all their wrist bones. Like that kind of guilt.
How many wrist bones are there?
Enough.
About one.
Just about one.
Well, the man I'm about to tell you about couldn't hold in any of his guilt. But then again, he did something much worse than cousin kissing, and you could tell that to your old man, Mr. McAllister. This is the story of Paul Michael Stephani, otherwise known as the Weepy Voiced Killer. So they call him the Weepy Voiced Killer before we go any further is because after he would commit his crimes, he would call in crying to the police, apologizing. And he would constantly do this like a coward, I know.
I know.
You know?
Aren't
Just
they the worst?
commit to the murder if you're
Aren't they
going
the
to do
worst?
it, dude.
I don't like the name, guys.
The
That's
Weepy
why we
Voiced
call
Killer?
you that.
It's not your name.
This is.
Oh,
I feel like I'm
coward.
right back in elementary school. Go ahead.
So, Paul grew up in a very large and very religious family in Austin, Minnesota. Born in 1944, he was one of 10 children who seemed seemingly normal growing up. Paul eventually, well, we all know, like, when you're one of 10 children in a very religious family,
Yeah, we all know that.
See-
We all get it.
we all been there.
I get it. You get it. You get it. The listeners get it.
But yeah, there's some stuff brewing under there. So Paul eventually graduated high school and found a wife in Beverly Leiter, who he would eventually have a daughter with. Which
Is there any more like what time period is this? Sounds like the most 50s name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's 1944.
There you go.
So
Say it again.
well, he was older at this point. That's when he was born. So Beverly Litter.
Sure.
Litter. So, but he would eventually have a daughter, which is actually very not normal for like a serial killer, you know? But like I said, Paul was seemingly pretty normal on the surface, but Paul was actually hiding and suffering from mental illness, which showed itself when he first got arrested for aggravated assault. So around 1980, when Paul was 36, is when things got really bad. Paul would go into the city of Minneapolis at night and hang out at bars to meet women. But this night was a little different since it was New Year's Eve. Paul Stephani's first victim, by the way, his last name is Stephani, so I will like constantly call him Stephani too, so that's his last name, just so you don't get confused.
That can be very confusing.
Yeah,
So
that's not going to be a problem for me at all. Don't worry. I'm
He is
super in tune
Stephani.
with this.
He is Stephani. So Paul Stephani's first victim, 20-year-old Karen Potak, was spotted by Paul when she was walking home drunk from a nightclub. Stephani ran up behind Potak and smashed her in the head with a tire iron while continuing to beat her. So you could totally tell, like, I mean, once I get into it, you could totally tell that this is like his first kill because it doesn't really match the rest of his MOs. So around 3 a.m. after he beat her that night, police got a call from a crying man begging the police to send a squad car to Malberg Manufacturing Company, where he actually used to work. He got laid off from there, and because he said that there was a hurt girl there, and he was like crying at the phone. And at the location, officers found Potak. They found her naked in a snowbank near the railroad tracks with a cracked skull, but she was actually surprisingly alive.
I mean, come on. She's alive? No.
I mean, tire iron though.
A tire iron fucks you up. There's no way.
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I feel like one hit from a tire iron would do me in, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. A snowbank too. It's not a good combo. Tire iron and a snowbank. It's a bad
Well,
combo.
I feel like a snowbank is a good place to like rest. I don't know. A lot of soft snow on the side of the road. They could really sink into it.
you don't
You
know
guys
how
ever-
snowbanks work.
Build a little jump in a snowbank.
Yeah.
He's trying to
For your
block out
snowboard.
this. Yeah, you're trying to block.
No,
go
I'm
back
trying
the
to just
simpler
have happy thoughts at this point.
See, that's the thing. These stories are very brutal. Some of them, they're very dark. We're just trying to do a light spin on it. We know that these are horrible things.
So whenever
We're not-
you guys hear about somebody being dumped in a snowbank, just imagine me busting a sick 360 off of said
Over her.
snowbank.
Off of
Well,
what?
I mean,
But-
like,
oh,
maybe,
hold on.
like,
Time out.
don't-
I'm putting the timeout hands
All right,
up.
Throw a quick T.
What are you doing this 360 on?
The snowbank.
No. What are you riding?
The snowboard.
tire iron.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were doing a snowboard, if you were doing a sled, if you were doing like a boogie board on snow.
It's pronounced budgie board, but
Oh, fuck.
let's move on.
Anyway,
You're clearly from California and I'm not.
well, anyway, cracked skull, arms are heavy, vomit on the sweater already. We all know. So he later actually confessed, when I picked her up, she had no jacket, and I thought I'd take her for a cup of coffee, Stephani confessed. I just wanted to warm her up, and my mind snapped or something.
Yeah, fuck a hospital.
What are you talking about? No, this is the guy who he literally saw her and was like, hey, I should help that lady walking home drunk at night. And he like went to go pick her up, and then he's like, no, I'm going to hit her in the head with the tire iron.
Look, we're all confused by the name Stephanie. You already
thought-
ruined
Oh,
it.
so I'll just call him Paul from now on.
There you go, yeah.
I thought you were
Paul.
saying someone found her after being assaulted and said, I'm going to take her to coffee, not the hospital. That's what I thought you were saying.
She's passed out. He's like, you look like you need a cup of coffee.
You need to sober up. Let's get you some coffee.
Spring Hill Jack.
They're going to love that.
You know, they just DM'd us like a second ago.
So, around 6 months later, Paul found himself in Wisconsin looking for his next victim.
Go, Pat, go.
On the night of June 3rd,
Rogers.
On the night of June 3rd, 1981, Paul found his next victim in Kimberly, Compton. The police got a call from a crying man that night stating, God damn, will you find me? I just stabbed somebody with an ice pick. I can't stop myself. I keep killing somebody. You know, like the stuff you say when you call the police?
When you've been killing people.
And he's hysterically crying. I'll play something at the end where you could hear what he sounds like, but
Oh.
it's so creepy.
Oh.
What
It is
year?
so-
What year was this again?
This was like around the, I want to say he was born in 44. He was older now, probably around the 60s, late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
Somewhere around
Imagine
there.
how nobody thought about it back then, but imagine like going back into that time period and how
didn't have
terrifying it would
Facebook.
just be to be alive because how easy crime was.
All the serial killers were like around the 60s, 70s. I mean, there
Unbelievable.
were
You can't
some.
do that shit these days. The geotag. You can't snap a picture of your victim
geotags.
and like
Stokes just has
swipe
Snapchat
it.
open every time
You
he's
can't
doing a
swipe it
crime.
and be like, "I'm in Hollywood." Quiet on set.
Unbelievable.
That's an LA joke right there. So, police found Compton. Yeah, here we go. This is where it gets a little much. Stabbed 61 times and strangled with a shoelace.
Why? I feel like our episodes, every time we do something about stabbing, we keep going up in numbers. Are we gonna hit a roof at one point?
Oh, I don't know.
Because we have seriously, every episode about stabbings has gone up a couple, and then you just jump like 20 stabs.
I'm more concerned about the shoelace, which is kind of weird to me.
Shoelace. Wait, what?
She was stabbed 61 times, and then they found her strangled with the shoelace.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, like, what happened.
Did
first.
they not know whose shoe it came from?
That's a good question. I don't think.
Was it her shoelace? Was it his shoelace? Was it a shoelace someone brought
See,
with
but
them?
like I said, it was like the 60s, 70s. So like they're just like, oh, it's a shoelace. Must have just been a random like.
You can't
I'm a
track
little
that down.
disappointed that you didn't dive in deeper into the shoelace.
Well, they're
but
gonna
keep
ca-
going with your story.
Okay,
I'm
David.
doing
I'm not the
quotes with
fucking
my hands.
detective. It's not like I just went and like started fucking up the crime scene. I didn't throw
Yo,
the
but
shoelace
what if
away.
we just did a whole like 180 on this podcast and we started just being detectives and we picked up open cases?
I like that.
I like that too.
I like that a lot.
Tweet us if you want us to start becoming private eyes.
Scary thoughts.
Scary.
Oh fuck!
Paul actually called back 2 days later, and he was apologizing for what he did to Compton now. So he calls back around like that night, or he either like reports his murder, or he calls back like 2 days later and he cries and apologizes about it, which is fucking insane. It's
Yeah,
so crazy.
That's fucked up.
And he wants to be caught, so like obviously there's some shit going on. So Paul's next murder was a much stranger one, just outside of St. Paul. Hey, the name. Kathleen Gringig was found in her home, drowned in a bathtub. The murder was strange because it didn't match his MO, and it also was not followed up by a crying call. But later, he confessed to killing her in prison. We'll get why he did it in prison later, but a bathtub. See, he just kind of like
Trinity
He
killer.
goes. No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Any
Great
Dexter
show.
fans
Fuck
out
your
there.
listeners.
Great show until the last little bit.
So, but like he went tire iron.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys.
He went
Bye,
tire
Spring Hill
iron,
Jack.
ice pick shoelace, bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's more of like he doesn't plan this shit out, or he's just like trying to keep the police off his trail.
It's
Yeah.
either
It's a smart
erratic.
move.
It's either erratic or very smart.
Well, he calls and confesses, so I guess he's not trying to keep the police off his trail. He seems like he drives around and then like just sees what he can find and then just uses it. So his fourth victim and last murder victim was Barbara Simmons, a 40-year-old nurse on the Minneapolis.
Simmons.
It's not it's Simmons. A 40-year-old nurse on the Minneapolis side of the Mississippi River. The two met at the Hexagon Bar after Simmons gave Paul an extra cigarette. After spending the night at the bar with Paul, Simmons told a waitress, "He's cute. I hope he's nice since he's giving me a ride home." That's foreshadowing.
Yeah,
He's cute. I hope he doesn't have no tire iron in the back of that car. He didn't have a tire iron, but
Continue.
but Simmons was found dead, stabbed 40 times. See, that seems like more of his MO. He's a stabber guy.
Well, from what I've heard is that usually when you look them in the eyes, they're always surprised the first time you stab them.
that's a
Oh,
callback,
That's,
ladies and gentlemen.
Rhino said that, right?
Rhino said that.
So she was stabbed 40 times and placed in some brush. Another really interesting thing, all the victims were wearing red.
Huh?
So I don't...
Is he a bull?
Well,
That's weird as hell.
Like, actually, psychologically, I don't know. He did have mental illness or some kind of mental problem, and they do say that red actually evokes like
Anger and
sexual. No, it like it like your libido goes up or something like
Your
that.
headphones
Okay.
are red, and you look very cute tonight. So
there's a little bit of red in
You got a
those,
tire
but
iron?
he's still driving me nuts over here.
I'm getting crazy.
Anyway,
This podcast is
so Stephanie called the
horned
next,
up.
So Paul called the next day crying and saying, "Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that girl. I stabbed her 40 times. Kimberly Compton was the first one over in St. Paul. So he's still going back to his old kills that he confessed about.
So he's just confirming that he's a serial killer. Like, he's done multiple murders.
But he's
never turning himself in. This is what's
That's
so
what's
awful
weird
about
is
it.
that he wants to be caught, but he's not turning himself in.
Well, here's the thing that I kind of realized from the first statement I said is that he was born in a religious family. I feel like this is his confession booth.
Yeah.
So he's like clearing himself. Like, I told the police, that means I can get away with it, or like God doesn't think this is bad because I'm telling them that I have a problem. I'm not hiding it from anybody.
Yeah.
So it's really weird, the psychology behind it. I don't really get it. So his fifth and last victim was attacked on August 21st, 1982. Denise Williams was a sex worker who was picked up by Paul and driven to a dark suburban area. Paul stopped the car, then proceeded. I hate this part. Why does this always get like?
Maybe skip it.
No.
You don't have to include it, man.
No, it's just the tool was different. He pulled out a screwdriver, and I don't know why that's worse than an ice pick or a knife.
It makes it worse because every household has a screwdriver.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, you don't have knives in your house?
Well, I've got plenty of knives. Don't get that confused. But I'm just saying it's much more common for I guarantee you every single house in the world has a fucking screwdriver. It's a tool that's very commonly used for everything.
If you walk into my house, it looks like an episode of Hoarders. On one side of the room, I just have red shirts, and the other side just screwdrivers to the ceiling.
I was wondering about that.
I've been thinking.
I thought
Not this house.
And I thought maybe they're different sizes of screwdrivers. I looked down, they're all the same thread. I don't know what's
All
going
Phillips,
on.
yep.
Yeah.
And Gary kind of alternates which pile he sits on, either screwdrivers or red shirts.
Yeah,
Don't
if
bring
he's-
Gary into this. He has nothing to do with this.
I love you, Gary.
If he's feeling horny or handy that day, you know? Well, some say they're one and the same. So, so Paul stopped the car, then proceeded to pull out a screwdriver and stabbed Williams 15 times. But Denise managed to fight off her attacker by grabbing a glass bottle off his car floor and cracking him over the head, which is a fucking cool move.
Yeah.
Which also confirms that probably an alcoholic because he's, sipping that brew, tossing them empties down by the floor. I feel like you're gonna let anybody in your car, especially a sex worker. You want to do a little trash run. You know what I mean?
No.
No? Okay.
I feel like if at that level you're picking up a sex worker, you don't really care what the inside of your car looks like.
That's true, I guess. So her screaming drew the attention of nearby residents, and her attacker was forced to flee with cuts to his head and face. When Paul actually got home, he realized that the cut was much worse than he had originally thought, so he sought medical help for his wounds. But when he called 911 for help, that's when they figured out that he was actually the Weepy Voiced Killer. So the lady who was the dispatcher recognized the voice and was like, holy shit.
Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense because he was probably crying then, too. He just got cracked over the head with the bottle.
She had heard one of his call-ins before.
Yeah, well, I think they started, playing them, or I don't know if they started playing them on, the news, or, they just played them for the police department. And they're like, if this guy calls in, maybe start tracing it, or maybe, follow up on it, because I bet every dispatcher knew about this at this point. Weepy Voiced Killer. So Paul Stephani was arrested soon after, but at his trial, Paul was only charged with the attacks of Denise Williams, who was the sex worker, and Barbara Simmons, who I believe he stabbed 40 times. Police didn't have sufficient enough evidence to charge him with the other crimes. In fact, they didn't even suspect him in Kathleen Gringing's death, which was the bathtub drowning, as he never made a Cryin phone call to the police after he did it. However, while in prison, he was diagnosed with skin cancer and was given 1 year to live. So Paul confessed to the other crimes and gave details about the crimes no one could have known besides the killer. He claimed he wanted the families of the victims to have closure. A year later, Paul Stephani died in prison at the age of 53. So I like to say, in the end, Paul Michael Stephani was a little baby back bitch who, if tried to call me late night, would get sent to voicemail because he's the type of friend to get too drunk and then sucker punch you in the face over a game of Mario Kart and then try to cry and apologize to you 20 minutes later while he's trying to hand you a natty light. So in conclusion, fuck Paul Stephani. And David, you're drinking a natty light over there.
I was before.
I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Better.
So, but it's the classic, he he does these actions and then he feels remorseful right away. And I feel like that's a very similar thing to some people who drink, and they'll just like act out and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, man," and you're like, "Nah."
Nah.
Dude, get
No,
outta
you
here.
hit me in the head with the tire iron.
You're
You
a
can't be playing
liability,
this
my
shit
dude.
anymore,
Get outta
man.
here.
You hit me with a tire iron like 2 weeks ago, Tobin, and I was not happy about it.
But I was wearing a red shirt,
That's fair.
so you knew it was coming.
Yeah, I did.
So that's the Weepy Voiced Killer, but I want to play you what his actual phone call sounded
Oh,
like, so you
yeah.
can see how creepy it sounds.
Let's hear it.
Don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry what I did to Compton. I couldn't help it. Don't know why I had to stab her. I am so upset about it. I keep getting drunk every night. I can't believe it. It's just like a big dream. I can't think of being locked up. If I get locked up, I'll kill myself. I'd rather kill myself than get locked up. I'll try not to kill anybody else.
Fire emergency.
Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that girl. I stabbed her 40 times. Kimberly Compton was the first one. Over safe. Oh, I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm sick. I'm going to kill myself, I think.
Where are you?
I'm just going to... If somebody dies with a red shirt on, it's me. I killed both of you. I'm sorry. I'll never make it to heaven.
Calm down. Calm.
I think you get the gist of it, right?
Yeah, he definitely has some issues going.
Yeah, I like your guys.
almost feel
I
bad.
like your guys' podcast when when Tobin's or when Stokes is talking about doing total paint jobs and there's laughs and funs. When
Well,
we're
you
talking
know
about
what?
That
monsters.
was
Let
just sad.
me finish.
That was a sad.
And there's monsters and fun little ghouls. That's
Green
more
little
than a
ghouls,
ghoul.
buddy.
Sometimes the
Yeah,
monsters
he's too
aren't
much.
fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes the monsters aren't fun.
Ugh.
I know, he's fucking disturbing. It's
Big
fucked
wolf.
up, and yeah, so I don't know. That's the Weepy Voiced Killer.
Tough.
All right, David, our guest, our beautiful boy. You ready to do your story?
I'm your little beautiful boy, and I'm very, very ready. And here we go. First off, thank you both for having me. As always, I enjoy being in this oven of a home and sweating through my shirt as I stare in through the eyes of your beautiful son.
Honestly, this is probably the coolest it's been in the whole time we've been doing this.
And you know
My
what?
shirt's still on.
I'm sweating. Gary, I respect you. I honor you. You are the king of this house and
Turtleneck
all those
sweater.
that live in it.
Turtleneck sweater.
Bowing to Gary a little bit. Well, Tobin and David, it's time I ask you, what's the scariest type of monster?
A horny monster.
Okay.
One with a lot of nipples.
All right.
That's good answers. I was gonna say one that doesn't wear socks with shoes.
Oh, one that the mouth opens sideways.
Ooh,
Very
that's
fair.
good.
Yeah,
That's
That's
good.
a good scary
Those are
monster.
scary.
When they
Wrong.
when they have wings that are kind of fleshy but no
Wrong.
feathers. No, oh, fine.
Wrong.
Okay.
It's a stinky monster.
Oh.
A stinky boy is always the scariest of all
Stinky.
the boys. Exactly, David. Thank you.
I'm out of this one. I don't know what's going on anymore.
And so, my story today focuses on a monster that goes by many names. Some call him the Swamp Cabbage Man. Others know him as the Florida Bigfoot. Hell, some people even call him the Swamp Sqautch. But his true name, his true identity is the Skunk Ape.
I
Guy
I
Fieri.
honestly almost did my story on this tonight.
You don't know shit about this.
Well, I didn't click on it. I saw the name and I
No,
almost
you
I
don't know.
almost
No,
filled
no,
out
no,
about
no,
it, but
no,
I
no,
didn't.
No.
I thought you were gonna say Guy.
I'm the
Fieri.
only one who knows about this.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
Welcome to Swamp Town.
From the early times, there have been rumblings of a strange and pungent beast lurking throughout the Florida Everglades. The stories of the skunk ape go back many a year. The Muskogee and Seminole tribes that lived in the Everglades forest before the European settlers arrived claim they've been seeing the skunk apes live in the woods for hundreds of years. They called it the Sqautches.
Okay, so my question is, I know you're gonna get into what he looks like. I have to ask. We looking at a skunk or an ape right now because I'm guessing more ape because skunk you can't be walking through a swamp if you're a skunk, right?
No.
Yeah, you know what's great about you is that you would assume that I wouldn't describe the monster
I
that I'm
said
talking
you
about.
He
Let me
loves
just
to cut you
go
off.
Through my
He just loves to cut you off.
Damn story.
I get excited, man.
Let me just go back to the Native Americans that would call this the Sqautches, or the tall man. He is the protector of the woods, they say, and he keeps those who would damage the forests even when they don't see him. The skunk ape, they believe that he watches you vigilantly, gazing over those who enter his dojo, using his mystic powers to disappear when he is seen.
Wait, who calls it a dojo? You or him?
Well, it's his dojo.
Okay.
I'm calling it his dojo.
Okay, you gave him the name dojo. I thought he just like was a karate master as well, which is another.
Well, I'm
reason
just
to be
kind of assuming
terrified.
that a stinky boy like this, living at home, which is the forest, stinky man at home,
I would call
Just
it
a
calls
little-
calls his home the dojo.
A little
Okay.
itty bitty stinky boy.
Exactly. Well,
not
the Native Americans,
he's tall.
the Native Americans in Florida said that he kept watch over Florida, and this was his thing, that he would make sure that people wouldn't mess up the lands.
Oh,
well,
so he's responsible for what's going on.
well,
in
I was going to say
Florida.
he did a pretty shitty job
You can say that.
because Florida turned out to be Florida.
Skunk Ape fucking up.
He really did not do a good job.
I mean, we all love Florida. Let's not get ourselves wrong, but we love the lore behind Florida, and it's fun to be like, Florida's crazy. But like all you Floridians, you
Floridians.
fluoride, you teeth protectors out there, we love you from the bottom of our skunk apes.
Hey, the time I spent in Tallahassee was a great time. I love that place.
Yeah,
A lot of good times.
I haven't been to Florida yet.
I've had a lot of layovers in Florida.
You got big bugs there.
Anyway, the skunk ape, it earns its name from its very stinky smell, which some have likened to the smell of rotting garbage, methane, or all the hard-boiled eggs that Tobin leaves in the fridge for weeks at a time.
Those are the worst.
That's Chris, dog. Chris is the one
You
who's
do
constantly on a
love
diet.
leaving eggs in your fridge.
I leave eggs everywhere, not just the fridge.
They roll out his pant leg.
Some researchers attribute the beast's odor to its natural habitat of alligator dens filled with swamp gas and animal cadavers, while others maintain that the smell is a result of their lack of bathing. No matter what, whatever is causing this odor, this Tobin's fridge-like odor, it's attributed to every single sighting of the skunk ape. So we can kind of know that if you see this bad boy, you're going to catch a bad vibe.
So the stank follows the skunk.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So skunk smell, ape look.
That's his dating profile.
I'm guessing. So he looks like it.
Skunk smell like look.
Skunk smell, ape look. So, but he looks like a Sasquatch, correct?
A Sqautch, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he
but
is a sass squatch.
He's a big hairy man. I'm going to get into his dimensions here.
He's lucky
And
he got a skunk ape.
Literally,
He
I'm a
could've
sentence away. So if you could just,
Are you enjoying my internal hell of him cutting you off right before you're
oh
about to
no,
say
yeah,
something?
I'm living it.
why are you
If
just-
anybody wonders what it's like if you shoplift and you're just like, oh, am I going to hell? Yeah, you're going to hell, and this is what it's going to be like.
The thing you're
Tobin cutting
thinking
you
about,
off.
the thing you're thinking about, he says before you say it.
Are you two done?
Anyway, according to David Shealy,
David Shealy.
Let's add another David to the story.
yeah,
I
we
was
have
gonna
another
s-
David.
I was
going
gonna say David Shealy. That's funny.
damn it. He's the ultimate skunk ape expert.
Oh, cool.
He's been chasing the skunk
Among
apes
many.
ever since he's seen them at the supple young age of 10 years old. He was hunting with his brother. He was in the Florida Everglades, and he got up on his brother's shoulders, and he saw a big old boy running across the Everglades.
That's a good tactic for hunting, is throwing your little brother on your shoulders.
Yeah, put him up there, throw a
Yeah.
gun in his hands, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
That's Florida.
That's two wombats on top of each other.
Anyway, according to David, who's
That's him getting shot.
utmost expert on skunk apes, an average male skunk ape reportedly stands 6 to 7 feet tall, weighs roughly 450 pounds.
Whoa.
Females are considerably smaller. They're 5 to 6 feet tall, weighing about 250 pounds, so about Tobin size.
Okay.
Both sexes are covered in long, reddish or black hair, similar to that of an orangutan or gorilla, and stand upright on 2 legs. Castings made of their footprints have proven that, just like Tobin, these beasts have 4 toes on each foot.
Oh, you laughed so hard when you wrote that, didn't you? They got orangutan titties like me too?
Seasonal stool samples have indicated that their omnivorous diet consists of bird nestings, wild hogs, and native berries.
Speaking of wild hogs, what a great movie, am I right, guys?
Oh.
Tim Allen.
One of Tim Allen's best. What was the other guy that was in that one? Martin Lawrence?
I couldn't tell you what
I'm pretty sure Martin Lawrence was in Wild Hogs.
Who's the guy in Paul Blart Mall Cop? Was he in that?
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. How could you forget about Kevin James' name?
He seems like the kind of guy that would be in Wild
Oh,
Hogs.
the last guy was Skunk Ape. That was the last guy. in that.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So Wild Hogs was Tim Allen, John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy.
Wow, Kevin James wasn't in it.
And
William
Ray,
H. Macy.
Ray Liotta was in it,
He's a cop.
as long as Marissa Tomei. Yeah, it's,
Anyway,
More like Marissa, such a bae.
yeah.
that's
there
good.
you go.
That's good.
I'm
So
gonna
wait, so
keep going.
they're eating bird nests, correct?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Is this is a quote? Bird nestlings. Nestlings.
Is that bird shit?
Is that just the nest? Is it the babies in the nest?
I'm pretty sure it's the babies.
Baby.
Is that like caviar to them?
They're the babies with the least crunch.
I like when they're soft and pink and translucent.
You can see all the veins. You can count the veins.
I get above them, and I open my mouth. I open my mouth above them, and they think they're going to eat. But really, I'm going to eat.
I'm the one that's eating.
This is how Skunk Ape talk.
Well, now that we have their
Their language.
their language down.
Yeah,
It's English.
we've covered it.
Well, let me circle back to Dave Shealy here. Sorry, not David.
Okay.
Since his first sighting at age of 10, Shealy has documented his methods of how to bait skunk apes. Though he has only claimed to see about 3 in his lifetime over the course of 30 years, which not a lot, not a lot of success.
One for 10 years is not a good stat.
He says he knows how to bring them out of hiding.
That's not a good
Do you guys
batting.
want to take a guess of what a skunk ape's favorite treat is?
Oh my god, I can tell you right now, Munster cheese.
All right. Well, Tobin got his one guess. Stokes.
Raspberries.
We got Munster cheese and raspberries. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the number one way to
Pumpkins?
get a skunk ape. Nope, not pumpkins. The number one way to get a skunk ape out of the
Kids Bop CDs.
son of a bitch out of the trees of the Florida Everglades is to properly wet lima beans.
Quesadillas?
Nope, it's to properly wet lima beans because
How do you properly do that? Is there the step by step?
you just wet them.
Yo, that's a Creed move right there.
You wet a lima bean.
That's Creed from The Office when he's sprouting damp
old
mud
man
beans.
smell.
When he's sprouting
Mung
damp
beans.
mung beans, he's like, he's like
It's a completely different legume.
they're very nutritious, but they smell like
How many
death.
times do I need to bring up legumes on this podcast?
I still
Because that
don't
is a
know what that is.
completely different legume.
So
Anyway.
wet lima beans.
I gotta Google what a legume
I
is.
have here written in my notes that I wanted to ask. David, what's your favorite treat? AKA, like, if somebody's trying to catch a David, just like we know that lima beans...
the spiciest hummus you can make. And just a big old trough spoon that I can scoop it into my
You don't even
my
want to
gullet.
dip anything with it?
No, I just want that. No,
Like a nice pita?
no. I just
Like
want-
a freshly baked pita?
I mean, I would take it, but I don't need it.
Pita.
Eh.
All right,
How about
whatever.
Zagoon chicken?
Thank you.
Is anybody gonna
Sing-
ask me?
No, we're moving on.
Cold pizza.
The earliest popularized skunk ape sightings happened in 1957, when a pair of hunters claimed that this gigantic smelly ape invaded their camp into the Everglades. Their story picked up traction, and it spread. The creature started to pick up its own unique name, inspired by its distinct Tobin-like smell.
Okay.
I didn't wear deodorant tonight, and he's still a smelly one.
Dozens of sightings followed. In 1973, a family claimed they saw a skunk ape chase their child off a tricycle. The next-
Wait. Chase them off a tricycle?
So if they're riding a tricycle, do you expect them to be able to run fast?
Little baby riding the tricycle. Mm-hmm. Big, smelly, hairy man chasing after him.
Yeah.
That's my bike.
Baby run.
Baby run.
That's
Me
the
one
story.
bike. Me one bike.
Very specific. It chased our child off a tricycle. Be like, well, Okay.
They just wanted to like publicly embarrass the child for not being able to ride a 2-wheel bike yet, and they're just like, yeah, this little bitch is still riding a tricycle, so can we all laugh at that? Can the community laugh at him?
See, I was expecting them to just fake that they bought a tricycle, and he's like, Mama, I never had a tricycle. You stole your tricycle. We need reimbursement. That's
We need a new
insured."
one. We need a new one.
That tricycle was insured, and the Skunk Ape took it.
I'll tell you who did it. It was that goddamn Sasquatch.
It was a swamp squatch.
Well, that was a
And the
Billy
very
Madison
next
quote.
year, the very next year, 1974, another family claimed that they hit one with their car. And
Oh, we know where this is
it was
going.
proven in the police report
Sexy
that
lizard
they had,
man.
that they had hairs on the fenders to prove it. So
Was it a dog hair that he yeeted at the car? Like the lizard man?
it's probable.
Okay, by the way, who doesn't have hairs on their fender? Okay, I don't need somebody strolling up to me claiming I hit a person. 'Cause I got hair in my fender.
As more skunk apes were claimed to have been spotted in the 1960s and 70s, Florida State Representative Paul Knuckles. His name's Knuckles.
Wait,
Big
he's
Knuckles.
a U.S. senator.
U.S. fighter.
What?
He's a U.S. fighter? He's just a
UFC
fighter?
fighter. No,
Oh, he's just a
Florida
fighter
State
for the-
representative.
If you
Paul
want-
Knuckles.
If you want to come get my chair, you're gonna have to fight me.
He believed that eventually one of these beasts would be caught. Knuckles decided if someone was actually going to capture one of these little furry boys, it should be protected from harm and possible endangerment, and introduced a bill in 1977 that made it an offense to take, possess, harm, or molest anthropoid or humanoid animals.
You had that. You
This
had
is
to
real.
add that last
No,
one. in.
this is law.
Okay.
I'm just repeating law.
Okay.
I love when our government is doing things that are important.
Knuckles, this is real. Skunk Ape bill passed through the committee to the House, but unfortunately, it was withdrawn before members of the House could vote on it.
Every time you said Knuckles, I just thought of that beautiful red boy with those big old white gloves.
Talk about that Sonic.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog on this episode.
But I
Wait
mean,
until you hear my story.
Speaking of stories, if you want more stories of this big stinky man, good, because they have them, and here they are.
oh, we have
An
sightings.
entire bus claimed that they saw Swamp Sqautch. That's how they spelled it. In 1997, they
Sam
described
Sqautch?
they described it as a 7-foot red-haired ape running through the Everglades. There were nearly 30 to 40 people on this tour bus,
Who is that, Reba?
and every single one of them that were interviewed all had the same story.
Okay.
Wow,
Completely the same.
it's like they're all on the
That's
same bus
cool.
and they told each other the same story.
I don't like you poking holes.
That was before they had DVD players on the bus, so they
Well,
all got
you know-
really involved in the story.
I hope you're ready for the
ready.
kicker here.
Okay.
My body is ready.
An unnamed woman
Hey yo.
You say
in the same year. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
This story's true now.
It's credible.
In the same year, a woman claimed that she saw a skunk ape jump in front of her car, and in quotes, it was shaggy looking and very tall, maybe 6 to 7 feet tall. And
That's a very big gap.
here's the kicker. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
The thing jumped in front of my car.
Whoa.
Yeah, she
Whoa.
said that. She
Whoa.
said that.
Whoa.
My favorite part about all these sightings with any kind of creature is that people always say, it jumped in front of my car. I'm like, no, motherfucker. It was trying to cross the street. Your car was in its path. You make it seem like it was like, ah! And I was
Animal
like, oh,
rights.
fuck, that's a car.
You've always been an animal rights activist.
You know
Big
me.
time.
I appreciate that.
Big
Yeah.
time.
And while our boy Sheely, you all remember Dave Sheely,
Of
the
course,
resident
of course,
expert
of
of
course.
Skunk Ape,
Dave Sheely.
claims to have footage from 2000, which I will show you guys either now or after the pod, whichever you prefer. He claims he has footage that proves it's Skunk Ape. It's kind of clearly just a guy in a gorilla suit crossing a swamp.
I was
Yeah,
going to say, do you
but-
know Dave Sheely got arrested for running into a barbershop naked, covered in maple syrup and rolling around on the floor? That Dave Sheely?
No, it's different Dave Sheely.
Okay, I wasn't
Anyway,
sure.
even though that happened in 2000,
There's more than one
There
Dave
were more
Sheely, and I
claims.
don't know about either one of them. What the fuck's going on?
in 2003, pets began disappearing in, you ready for this?
Yes.
A little further away from Florida, but not very far. Tennessee's Campbell County. At least 6 cats and 1 dog went missing within
would've made
3
the soup.
days. Residents made multiple calls to police after spotting an ape-like creature running around. Authorities believe the animal is an orangutan or somebody's escaped pet primate, but cryptozoologists thought otherwise. Chris Dotson believed that the beast was a skunk ape, and fellow cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman agreed. Which we can all agree that if you have ologist after your own title, whatever you say is a fact.
I have to say this before we continue really quick. There's nothing that pisses me off more than when I fucking get home and my orangutan got out.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, did a Stinky.
Dug a hole underneath the fucking fence again.
I'm going to change my last name to Ologist, so my child's name will be whatever it is plus Ologist.
Police urged residents to stay away from the creature, and sightings and pet disappearances
That's a word.
eventually slowed. So now I want to take a second to show you guys what this creature looks like, because I feel like you're gonna have a blast
It
here.
better have more than 4 nipples, or I'm gonna scream.
I'm not joking earlier when I said I almost did my story about this today, but I didn't read
Whoa,
very far
wait.
into
I'm gonna
it.
lean into this. What the fuck?
Yeah, we're looking at him now.
Yo, that thing smiles?
This is gonna go on the Instagram.
That thing smiles?
Who do you know in Florida that has a costume like this?
A lot
No
of people.
one.
That's
I
very-
mean,
Because
no
this is
one.
real.
See, you know what the most interesting part about that picture is that there's a reflection in the eyes,
Yep.
which you don't get with a costume.
It's like an
it
orange
has to
reflection.
be real eyeballs.
That's real.
Interesting.
Darn right.
It's smiling though.
Darn right. So to this day, you can go to the Skunk Ape headquarters in Florida, in the Everglades, where Dave Shealy is running his daily research and continuing to fight the good fight of taking care of this bad boy, because he believes that a lot of non-believers are actually going to push him to extinction. So, you know,
So he's kind of like Santa, where if you don't believe,
Yes.
he disappears.
yes, 100%.
Okay. Let's all hold hands
Yep.
and believe.
Yeah.
Come on,
exactly.
guys.
So
You've seen the movies.
the next time you find yourself in Florida, make sure to carry a pocket full of wet lima beans, because when you smell rotten eggs, it might not just be the fact that you are with Tobin. It might be the skunk ape.
I was gonna say, I'm coming.
And I realized I
Florida.
said stink ape earlier.
Well, here's the
but
thing.
like it's the same thing.
Here's the thing. You just say stink ape, but here's the thing.
Stink ape, skunk ape, same thing.
Wait, before I say one more thing, if this animal creature does become extinct, I'm on deck, baby. I will come down to Florida. I will.
I'm going to
roam
assume
your
it's
take a
already
spot?
extinct because we don't have any records of it.
I just showed you
Yeah,
a
we
picture,
just saw
man.
a picture, dude.
That means it's real.
Have we bagged it and tagged it? I guess we don't have to bag it, but just tag it.
David's like, nothing's real unless it's dead first.
Unless it's bagged and tagged, baby.
So, I'm just going to go ahead and start my story. But before I start my story, I wanted to share real quick that I recently was working on set with a music video for someone who I'm unallowed to disclose.
That's how people who aren't important pretend they're important.
Yes, but at one point, this celebrity wanted to bring their dog onto the set, and I was unaware of what the dog's name was, like everybody else, and that individual started screaming, "Bring Chi-Chi to set."
Yo, shut the fuck up.
And they kept yelling, "Chi-Chi, where's Chi-Chi?" And the whole time I could not stop laughing. And this little Jack Russell Terrier came out. And yeah.
Did he have a little man riding him?
No, he didn't have a little man. He did
A
have.
small, scary man riding him.
I could tell you what he was wearing, but it might actually have a problem with my NDA, so I can't really say
So
what he
what-
was wearing. But yeah, so people were like this. I would say, I mean, both of you guys know who I'm talking about.
Oh, 100%.
You can say their profession, right?
No.
You said music video.
Yeah, it was a music video. They are a musician.
They're a musician.
But they were screaming like, "Bring Chi-Chi out," and I could not stop laughing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh my god.
Okay, so to start my story, I want to get a poll from you guys of what are some of the worst jobs you could imagine have ever existed.
David, you go first.
Podcast host.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty awful.
It always comes back to this fucking shit. Okay, the guy who has to.
They don't have to exist now. Like, it could be at
Oh.
any point in time in existence.
Oh, floor bin cleaner.
Floor bin cleaner? What's a floor bin?
You
Is
said
that the
it-
spot you call between your things?
You said it doesn't have to exist yet. I'm gonna let you figure it out.
No, I mean they don't have to exist now. That means they had to have existed.
Oh, well, this is in the future. That's why you don't get it.
I don't get it.
Also, a guy who has to dress the bodies at the mortuary.
Yeah,
That's a bad one.
that sounds pretty shitty.
I just don't.
You want to give us a real one, David?
I just don't like lifting heavy things.
Oh, the people.
That's
who
why
had
you're a producer.
the aliens who had to build the pyramid.
Yeah, the aliens had to do that when they had to zap all them big bricks onto the big things.
Stack a big brick.
Me personally, every time I see
My
the
ancestors
guys,
didn't do that. It was the aliens.
every time I see the guys
Yeah.
picking up the garbage cans, I'm always like, good. Like I would never want to do that, and I just appreciate the guys that actually do that shit.
Oh, I got it. I figured it out. The people who have to lace the shoes at the van store.
That's not that bad.
That's bad.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's the people who have to lick the cartridges at Nintendo to make sure they are salty and bitter so little kids don't eat them.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
No, Nintendo Switch, the gaming console, the cartridges that have games on them, if you lick them, they're super bitter so little kids don't eat them.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. That's a real thing.
That's my first swear of the podcast, and I earned it.
Yeah, you did. Well, so I wanted to share a little job I found, which unfortunately is unavailable today unless you find someone who is very desperate to have you as their client.
Uh-oh.
We're going to take this all the way back to the 1920s.
The horniest decade.
The honeyest and the horniest.
Is that when they had flapper girls?
I think so.
That's horny.
Everybody was so horny.
Nothing I like more than a piece of string hanging from a dress.
So this story takes us very long before everybody had a cell phone where they could set an alarm to be woken up by their favorite or least favorite Nickelback song. For many people in the 20s, they didn't have alarm clocks of any type because they were very expensive and very unreliable.
How are they unreliable?
They were like pretty new and like it was like, oh, I'm gonna set my time for this, and it would like I'm gonna set my time for 5 a.m. and it would show up at 5 p.m. kind of thing.
Oh, so it's just
They
more-
were new. They were not reliable at all.
It was all gears and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So you know gears.
Yeah, and for most
Never
people,
trust a gear.
they were expensive as
My
shit.
motto.
They were expensive as shit. For most part, people couldn't afford them, and then most people didn't have a rooster to cock-a-doodle-doo them up.
That's true.
Nice.
You know?
Did you write that?
I did write that. You can read it if you want. You want to scoot over and read it.
Cockadoodle do
I
them up.
trust you.
So, how do you think people would, get up for work back in the day before you would have alarm clocks? Like, how would you get up at work?
Some guy
For
come
work.
and shit in your chimney.
Guy covered in shit? Come
No,
on,
no,
It's
not
very
guy.
odd.
No,
I was
wait,
gonna
wait.
say shit and chimney.
Did you say guy covered in shit comes through your chimney? No.
That's what I thought you said.
No, guy shits through your chimney.
Oh, okay. I think I'd probably rather have the guy covered in shit coming through.
We know what happens when you crawl on a chimney. That was our Christmas episode. They
Yeah.
get stuck in there and die.
Yeah, he did.
You
Well,
die.
I've always heard that if you have a Chi-Chi, he slaps you awake at 6 a.m. every day.
Yeah, but we're talking about the 20s.
We're talking about the 20s. Okay. Chi-Chi wasn't alive
So-
until
some
the 30s.
say some say Choo Choo is,
But, like,
is
okay.
immortal.
But realistically, think about it. Like, back in the 20s, like,
No, you
how
wake
the
up. You
fuck
wake
would
up
you
with
wake
the
up?
sunrise. What do you want from me? That's it.
How would you do that?
The sun comes up. Your eyes burn because you're a vampire. You have to get into the shade.
They were all vampires back then.
Do you want me to say the real thing? Because I think I saw this somewhere in my searches of weird shit going
Then
on.
don't, you fucking dickhead.
We all know that Tobin
I'm
likes
crazy.
to do.
We all know
Stinky.
Tobin
Ruin
spends
stories.
90% of his life Googling this weird shit. I don't think I've ever told a story he doesn't know.
I got weird shit brewing in these veins, baby.
Well, okay, so there was an old job called a knocker up.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you know? Is this what you think you know about?
I think I know about this.
Knock Her Up, starring Seth Rogen.
And a knocker up's job was to wake people up. Imagine that.
That's actually not a bad job because actually it is a bad job because you have to do a lot of shit at one time, right?
Who knocks up the knocker up?
Exactly. How do you get up? I don't know. So the knocker up would use a baton or a short, heavy stick to smack the shit out of their clients' homes, whether it be the front door or the bedroom window, or smacking the shit out of a neighbor's cat to wake them up.
Well, that's.
I mean,
not
nothing
okay.
wakes you up better than a good old like.
So
We
the
did
o-
that one more time. That was really good.
The only
Wait, Tobin, you do one.
Whose is better?
yours. Yours is pretty good.
That's not.
Nah,
that's not
Stokes
bad.
had it.
not bad.
But so the only difference between a knocker up and me is that a knocker up gets paid. Because I'd be smacking cats all up my neighborhood, and everyone's like, "I can't sleep because the police are here," and I'm like,
They can't sleep because you keep hitting the cats. It's all about timing, my man.
Civic duty.
Now, boys, the question the question now is, how would a knocker up wake up someone like myself who lives on a second floor?
Spitball.
Spitball.
Spitball. A little spitball.
I want you to have your own original opinion here because he said spitball, and I want you to not say spitball.
Shitball.
All right, there we go.
How would you wake someone up on the second floor?
Spitball.
No,
Wait, so you get
I'm the one that parties.
so
I'm the one that parties.
so there's also
throws a rock at you.
there's also a ladder option.
I'm glad you said that because my whole next paragraph is about that. Well,
You're welcome.
Well, the knocker-ups had to come up with a solution for this. And we've all seen the movies where those damned horny teens who throw rocks at windows. But in the 20s,
I'm glad this pod finally got horny.
in the
Mine
20s,
was
you know,
horny.
these poorly fashioned glass windows would never be able to endure the pure force of this elderly person launching a rock without breaking it. So what's smaller and softer that they could use? I know Tobin already knows this, so you shut the fuck up.
Hunk of shit.
Spitball.
You said honk of shit?
Hunk of shit.
That's funny because my next paragraph is no, not shit. Not any type of shit.
Well, you guys ever seen horse shit? It's like perfect for throwing. Speaking of horse,
It's a good baseball size.
I have to say this while the coward's on the podcast.
I
right
know
here.
exactly what's coming.
So
Son
David,
of a bitch.
we were on a hike one time, and David, there's horses on this trail we were on, and I go, watch out! There's a lot of horse shit around here. I go, watch out for your dog Miller, and he goes, don't worry,
Milton.
don't worry, Miller doesn't eat horse shit. Literally, this horse shit's right in front of us.
No, it
Miller
didn't
just
shit right
pops a
now.
ball right in his fucking mouth.
Okay, this Mr. Embellishing. No. There was a pile of horse shit. There was no horses in sight. We didn't see any horses the whole goddamn hike. This guy just wants to make up a freaking story.
Popped a ball on his.
He smelled it, put a little bit in his mouth. He's an exploratory gentleman. And you know what he did? I went, hey, and he dropped it.
Whole donut hole.
He
That's
dropped
how
it.
big that shit was.
And this son of a gun's never let it go.
Donut holes? Did they throw donut holes?
No. Well, I honestly, you can read it right now. It says, no, not shit, not any type of shit. Because I was trying to confirm, like, no, they didn't grab some horse shit because it's a good baseball size and lob it up there.
Yeah.
Not human shit because, I don't know,
it
because
just
sometimes
feels
people
good
just
in
want
your
to
hand.
throw their shit. You look at the monkeys at the zoo and they're throwing their shit everywhere and you go, maybe
My-
I want to try that. Maybe
my-
I should bring that to the office, huh?
My orangutan got out.
So the knocker-ups came up with an idea. Are you making a video right now? Do not film us while we're... This is what happens if you have guests. So the knocker-ups came up with this idea of a pea shooter. And not a piss, not a urine. They're not a bunch of piss boys. I'm talking about pea like the vegetable.
Like Miss Pidlin.
Is that a vegetable? I don't eat vegetables.
Remember all that?
Vegetable.
Remember all that?
Vegetable.
Remember all that with Keenan when he was Miss Pidlin and he got mad if you didn't eat your peas?
Keenan
No
and Kel?
one's as old as you, Tobin.
No, David's older than me.
I'm older,
shit.
but I was locked in a bunker for 12 years.
That's true.
Horse,
That's
horse.
fact. Big
horse,
facts.
horse, bitch.
So yeah, the knockers came with an idea of a pea shooter. So these elderly men and women, and yes, all of the knocker-ups
They're all old motherfuckers.
They're all elderly people that couldn't work in other fields.
I
And
can't
so-
feel my legs no more.
Can you imagine your grandpepper being like, oh, I can't keep drinking whiskey. I got to get up to shoot peas at our neighbor's windows.
That's why we love you, Grandpa. You're fucking make shit up.
Say his name right.
What do you mean, Grandpa?
Say his name right.
Grandpepper.
Spicy little boy.
He's a spicy old boy.
Spicy old boy.
So yeah, these elderly men and women would take the streets at sunrise wielding tubes so they could use what breaths they had left to launch peas.
That's so fucked up.
to launch peas at windows until the client would get up and wave to them, confirming that the knockers had done their job right, moving on to the next house.
Will you demonstrate a wave for all your listeners because they can see it? Wow, you guys love that, don't
A
you?
lot of elbow in that one.
I'm flabbing around.
do you ever think
Gosh,
that-
I love radio.
Do you ever think they popped open a window and said, shoot an extra pea?
Shoot an extra pea.
And they caught it in their mouth?
One more.
I can't afford breakfast.
One more. Hum.
So I want to end this out with saying, so when this podcast eventually gets snuffed out of existence and Tobin and I are out of a job, please contact us with your desired time and location, and we will snatch up our pea shooters and we will take the streets until every goddamn person in LA is awake and full of peas.
Wow. I don't know what to say after that.
So full of
I'm all
peas.
choked up.
I added that pea part.
I like it. That was good.
It did end at everybody in LA is awake.
Oh, we're done.
It's good.
All right, see you next week.
Bye.
I think we're still recording, aren't we? Well, thank you guys for tuning in because we. Are we not?
No, we are recording.
Oh, I look like you cut
Dipshit.
it.
You
Fuck you,
dipshit.
man. Oh, wait, I mean no.
Anyway,
No.
thank you guys for tuning in this week. We really appreciate it when you do, and we love telling you these stories. And David the Coward, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a fun time. We really
I'd like it
enjoyed
if we could put if we're gonna stick with David the Coward, if maybe we could put like an accent on coward, like David the Coward.
Where do you want the axe? What
You're
letter?
just,
I don't
trying
know,
to,
like-
you're just trying to be Colin Cowherd.
No, I don't like that. I want it to be fancy if we're gonna stick with this name.
Well, if I figure out how to use the tilde over the one of the letters,
Yeah.
I'll put it up there.
Okay,
but
good.
we'll see.
Okay.
And well, thank you guys for tuning in. We do it because we love you guys and we love these spooky stories. So if you guys want merch, go check out some merch. We got shirts, we got mugs. If you guys
shirts in the world.
If you guys got spooky stories you want to send us, send it over to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com or go to campstrange.com for all the hyperlinks or click the contact tab and send it on over to us. David, you have something to say?
I just want to interject that I know you guys have a great listener base. I know you guys have a lot of engagement, but if you've ever felt a little nervous to send in a story, as somebody who is a listener, and I just feel really lucky to be on this podcast, thank you guys for having me. As much as I hate you guys, I'm very happy to be here. Send in your stories because I love hearing the stories from your listeners. And like anytime you guys have done Tales from the Camp, I'm just stoked on it. Like as a listener, I think it's awesome to get everybody else's things, and everybody has a spooky story. So just go for it.
I also
Even if it's not even something like that crazy, just send it in.
I want to throw it out there right now is that if you are a listener and you are in LA, contact us and come in and be a guest. We've never said that before.
No.
Fuck it. I know this is your apartment, but I am so more than welcome to have a complete stranger in here to join us on an episode.
Why don't you guys roll up in my driveway, shoot a pee at our window, see if we're
Let
there.
us know what happens.
But yeah, contact us because
if you're in the beautiful
the tri-state area, is that New York?
if you're in Los Angeles or if you're visiting, come through. Do an
Yeah.
episode with us. Fuck it.
We'd love to have you on, because we're just nice guys.
We're not desperate.
They had me on twice. They're desperate.
But yeah, we really do appreciate you guys. And if you guys do have some spooky stories, either hit us up in DMs or send it on over in an email, and we'll hopefully get back to us. And that's how you know David's done with his wine, and also
Both
with his
Davids are
coward. And yeah, if you guys could rate, review, and subscribe, we would love that too. If you can't, we love that too because we appreciate that you're listening this far into it. So thank you guys so much. What else we got?
Our guest hit us off.
Your dad's favorite sitting chair.
Did you write these down?
Yep.
I can see you
I
reading
got
your laptop.
I got a couple.
Well,
I'm ready to go.
We've got David's crutch, which is his laptop.
Tobin, keep going.
We have toothpaste that tastes like a tarmac.
That angry goose from your local pond that bit you when you were 7.
We
Wow,
have
he's good.
LMFAO's only album signed.
We have a plant that smells like a tree.
Okay. 54 copies of Twins starring Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you need to take them all or no fucking deal.
No, it's gotta be quality on my end or no fucking deal.
We've got a hot dog.
Nice.
We have a shirt with 2 pockets on the front of it.
We got a really mean letter from us to you.
We got a Letterman jacket you didn't go to school with.
We have a Chi-Chi's brother whose name's Pee-Pee, and he shoots peas at your window.
We got a really nice succulent for your house.
I've got a dead cactus.
I have a dead cat.
We got two birds who won't stop yelling at you.
We've got a double-headed dog that's like, what was his name? The big dude in Harry Potter? Not Gandalf. Hagrid. We got Hagrid's dog, but they're small.
We have a tiny saxophone that Bill Clinton will play at your bar mitzvah.
We got 76 edible feathers.
We have a real lantern that's actually with like fire, so it's like kind of sick, but it's also a big fire hazard, and you should probably disable your smoke detectors.
We have chewing gum, and all the comics inside the bazooka gum are in Mandarin.
We got a sweatshirt that stings real bad.
I've got an 8-foot creature that's just the void, and you don't want to talk to him. You don't want to walk into him because you'll be sucked into the void, but he's just going to stand in the corner and just go,
I have an 8-inch creature.
We got floss, but it's racist. It's racist floss.
I've got a vinyl pen case for every 6th grader.
I have a chimpanzee that screams at you, also in Mandarin.
A lot of Mandarin. We got a keychain, but it's just a Cheeto.
I've got a skull of diamonds.
Dude, people are fucking tuned out. They're not listening to this shit.
I really want to see how far we could take him.
I could keep going, man. Forever.
How many do you have over there?
No, I stopped at two birds yelling at you.
Okay.
These are all off cut.
Well,
I was ready to go all night.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it when you do, and we love telling you these stories. So if you like more of this, stay tuned in. Stay tuned in.
We got really mean cashews.
It's a good one.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Coward, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
And Ledwith, you got it? Oh, Ledwith.
You know what?
Yeah.
Why don't we
I'm the
ask
alpha
him?
of this
You know
podcast.
what? Let him have this one.
Okay, so I just. Okay, Ledwith, do you have anything to say?
Yeesh.
Just eat more sodium than you think you should have.
Oh, that's a good one. And
Eat it all.
And don't forget to stay strange.